Phase Hero immediate reaction episode, joining you in whatever hour it is, wherever you are. BD here, joined this morning by Aaron Perrine.
Morning, everybody.
We got Jenna Anderson.
This is a Future Foundation broadcast. Hey, everybody.
And we got Jamie Durack surviving mildly on the East Coast.
That's right. I did it. I woke up. You're welcome.
I was getting tweets asking if Jamie was going to wake up. Surprise. We're all here. Fantastic Four. First Steps trailer is here. For those of you listening in audio form, that means you didn't wake up early. So let me just real quick explain to everybody what happened. The trailer said, or the Marvel said, and everybody said, trailer launch coverage begins at 7 a.m. Eastern time, 4 a.m. Pacific time. So a lot of us were out here like Patrick Star eating a Krabby Patty. Oh boy, 3 a.m. When our alarms went off. And then it really was just launch coverage. It was a bunch of still images of the Space Center on a loop for a very long time. And then at 8 a.m. Eastern time, 5 a.m. Pacific time, they had the cast of Fantastic Four. If I knew this was happening, I would have driven down to that Space Center in Alabama just to get a hat, let alone a picture with the cast. I don't know, but that looked cool. So then they finally launched it, but there was an hour-long countdown, which finally the Marvel fandom was all in agreement and together. What is going on here? And then they launched the trailer. We got my guy Cam Hayward in the comments said, "Ayo, Sue Storm on that John Cena." Are you saying she came in second place? Is that what you're talking about? Sorry, Royal Rumble reference for those wrestling fans here. Yeah, you can't see her. All right, so the trailer's here. We're gonna go through it as best we can. I actually have quite a bit to talk about in terms of story things I have to take away from this. But let's go around. Aaron, what'd you think of the trailer?
Tone's a 10 out of 10. I've been joking around about figuring out how to get a Fantastic Vision LUT since the moment the press coverage started. So Ace is on that. I'm excited to talk about the rest of it. Like, I really just wanted the tone from this, and I'm getting it in spades. So I'm so thrilled.
The tone was right there. Jamie, what'd you think?
I thought it was great. I will say the hour countdown business soured me a little. Everyone knows I don't like to wake up early, so I was a little ticked off. But as soon as the trailer started, my heart grew 10 sizes. I love the aesthetic of it so much. I only have one complaint, and that's Herbie didn't talk. I was like, it's finally time to hear the Herbie voice. And then we didn't. But otherwise, I thought it was fantastic. That was poor choice of words. I wasn't trying to be funny.
All right. I'm going to real quick share my thoughts because I want Jenna to be the main event. I thought the trailer was awesome. I think it really was. The tone, like Aaron said, tone was there. Glad the CGI looked good. Glad they are not holding back on showing us the heroes in their full form. And interestingly enough, having read a lot of Fantastic Four comics, I really think I can take away what the story is of this movie, at least in large part. And I have some key issues to suggest, but it does seem like a comic book brought to life. This is really cool. And I'm very excited, but I know everybody wants to hear from Jenna on this one. I know Jenna's been very excited. So without further ado, Jenna, what did you think of the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer?
God, no pressure. No pressure at all. I agree with Jamie. The hour countdown definitely was an interesting way to go about this. I had a sneaky suspicion, and I joked to Aaron yesterday that would happen, but I didn't want to oversleep and potentially be wrong. But it was cool to kind of just ease everyone in with the space footage. I think the trailer itself is beautiful. I do wish it was a little longer, but it is a teaser trailer ultimately. Like, you can only show so much, and I like what they did show. Like, we didn't see Galactus's face. We can save that for the future. We didn't necessarily see Silver Surfer. We can save that for the future. But like, we got a lot more of very specific things than I was expecting. So I was very excited for that. And just the vibe, just the energy, just the understanding of who they are in this universe. I still cannot believe we're getting that in this kind of movie. And I just loved seeing it.
Hey, if Jenna is satisfied, it's hard to argue. And we're not going to have any arguing in the comment section. This is a day where we're just going to be celebrating Fantastic Four for a little bit. Over 600 people. Actually, funny enough, 616 watching live right now.
Hell
this is
yeah.
not in the 616 universe. But please subscribe to the channel. Please, yes, we will ban anybody who says anything who is not a part of this Phase Hero community in a fun and inclusive and excited way. We're all happy to be here. We're allowed to have opinions. You don't have to like everything. But we won't do people who are trolling or being rude or anything. That's not what we do here on Phase Hero. And so, real quick, let's pull up the trailer. I can't really like play it in full because we will get strikes. But Marvel Studios logo was so we start right here. This is very, to me, move the logo over to the other side real quick because it's over my face.
You look like Cyclops.
Ooh, actually, you're right.
Right
There. So we start in New York City in the 1960s in this alternate universe. Immediately, an elevator door opens and we're in it. It's like, to me, my mind goes Avengers Tower. It's Baxter Building, but like it reminds me of that, you know, looking out the windows of Avengers Tower. What we're going to see in Thunderbolt soon in present day MCU versus this. I mean, the aesthetic is there right away. What do you guys think about this?
I love it. I love that this was the opening shot. I forgot to mention also, like, having seen the San Diego and D23 teasers, which were just test footage that they had shot before production officially began. Like they integrated some of that in a really, really seamless way. Like a lot of it's just like on TV screens, or it's the stuff shot in this sort of aspect ratio. So I loved how that was all blended in, while so much of it was also new.
I appreciate it. It feels like it's like they're literally opening doors to a new world.
Yeah.
Well done on the open of this trailer. C Black, thank you for the 199 comment. $1 billion movie. Hey, we'll quite possibly. We got another Will of the Force 499 comment here. Real excited for this. Love how much Ben Grimm we saw. Give him the blue Speedo. Here's Phase Hero. Thanks for being up this early. We were up earlier than we needed to be, as were many of you. So here we all are together. I felt like Rocket Raccoon in that Guardians of the Galaxy scene. Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle. All right, so here we got, you know, Pedro and Vanessa, Reed and Sue, looking also 60s. It felt like they were being performative in this when Reed was like, we have family dinner every night.
Mm-hmm.
We never miss it. To me, that felt performative, but also that kind of is just who the Fantastic Four are. So which way do you guys read that?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like, I think they're putting on airs. Like, they definitely have public personas. Like, we'll get into it, but like the posters they put out and everything is very just like they're public facing superheroes. They're celebrities. That is what makes them so special in the comics. And so I think we're getting a little snippet of that. And then, as the trailer explains, like they're not perfect. But what was Jamie going to say? You made a face with the Vanessa and Pedro, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
Backtracking, you all know that the number one thing I've been looking forward to is the hottest couple that's ever graced our screens, and they sure didn't disappoint right here and now. Also, in the little video, like when they were with the fans and stuff, they just all looked chef kiss. But I totally read this as a little bit performative, like they're doing some kind of tour video thing, which is interesting. I'm excited to see the dynamic of how they present publicly versus privately. And I just, going back to the aesthetic, I just want to live inside of this movie already. I love it. It's not Jetsons in like color, but it is in tone a little bit, and I dig that a lot.
We got another $4.99 here from Joe Cook Productions. Thank you, my friend. Going to be a cool 2 weeks with Superman and then this. Both look great. Grimm looks awesome, and those costumes are just beautiful. For great attitude on on being excited for both. You know, you're allowed to do that. All right, what else we got next here? Thank you so much, Joe Cook.
If it's set in the 60s, I think he's a magazine writer. He's like got the bow tie and the whole thing. He's got the whole Gay Tweets Esquire thing going on, and that was the era where we used to do magazine profiles that weren't just, hey, you know, I had 15 minutes with you in a car. I'll write it off of that. So that's good. Also, man, oh man, the period appropriate like dress on Vanessa Kirby here. Someone like over Unique Vintage is like, we're gonna save the community center. We're gonna make our mortgage payments. It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna sell so many cheap dresses. It's not even funny.
I feel like this is a movie that Marvel's probably gunning for a few awards on. With the set design, the costume of it all. I mean, they're all in here. And you can immediately tell, I said this in a tweet, you can immediately tell why Matt Shackman was the guy after what we saw him do on WandaVision. All right, let's keep it moving here. I think we get the Marvel Studios logo. Yep. There. Oh, come on now. Herbie and the Thing. What do we think of the CGI? I think, you know what's even better than the CGI? The sound design on the clap was when Ben was clapping. That was good stuff.
like people have been saying in the chat, they're like, I don't like the Thing's voice. I like that he just sounds the way that he sounds. Like the gravelly, very put on sort of voice affect that we had in the previous movies only works so far. And I think part of what makes Ben such an interesting character is he is just a normal guy who is in this circumstance and looks the way that he does and often wishes that he doesn't. And so I think they nailed it. I think the Ebon's voice is perfect, and just the CGI, like I said, blew me away. I was not expecting to see this much of it. The very Jack Kirby eyebrows is like stuff dreams are made of for me.
Jenna, who is Herbie?
Wait, let Jamie go first, and then I'll talk about Herbie.
I was just gonna say I have never watched The Bear in my life, but I have to assume that the Thing cooking is gonna lead to a lot of bear memes.
Yeah.
The internet's gonna do a lot of memeing over this. But tell us about Herbie.
So Herbie is a robot that Reed creates to kind of be like their assistant AI robot butler sort of thing. Herbie was originally created for the new Fantastic Four animated series because the urban legend around it, which has since been debunked, was that they didn't want to have Johnny on that show because it would inspire kids to light themselves on fire to try to emulate Johnny. So they wanted to create a new character who could join the Fantastic Four and not cause any dangerous things. And so they created Herbie as this little robot, and they have since kind of been integrated into the Marvel continuity. Like Jamie said, I'm shocked that we didn't hear a voice. I'm going to be curious if we ever do hear a voice or if it's just going to be beeps and boops, because I know Jamie and I were gunning for that to be Natasha Lyonne.
The fact that he said he to Herbie leads me to believe it's not going to be Natasha Lyonne's voice.
But I could still see the Natasha Lyonne voice just like being modulated in a way that just sounds very anxious and could naturally lend itself to the way that people read Herbie. So I don't know.
We've got a couple comments we need to get to here. Super chat from Will of the Force again. Dropped this comment twice. Second time without the typo. Maybe wrong here, but were Reed's powers the only ones we didn't see? Interesting choice. I've watched the trailer twice and I'm kind of going through it right now. Did we not see Reed's powers at all?
Not in a major way.
Interesting, because we did. I know we saw the other three, obviously, but we'll keep an eye out real quick. And then we got another one from Drew Manchester here. Absolutely loved the trailer and spending the morning with you all. I wonder why they held back from showing Reed's powers in this trailer. I guess that's true then. Any insights as to why? I mean, maybe they're just trying to preserve something for the next trailer, and also maybe they're just not done. Maybe they're, I don't know. It's hard. That's really the only. That's where my head goes, is one of those two things.
My feeling is maybe they didn't want like immediate comparisons to like the John Krasinski spaghetti. Like maybe they just were like, let's put a little fit in that since we kind of saw Reed's powers already in the MCU.
Yeah. And I see this comment I want to call out because I was thinking the same thing, Ryan. If it isn't Natasha Lyonne, my guess is Paul Walter Hauser for Herbie. Paul Walter Hauser, you ever what?
Has to be Mole Man, though. Like there have been rumors and speculation that we might be getting a Mole Man in this movie, and Paul Walter Hauser would be perfect casting. But like he would be good at Herbie casting too. But it just feels too easy to have him be Mole Man.
I also want to say, Paul Walter Hauser, if you're watching, you ever want to throw down a GCW, you let me know, bud. All right. Anyway, we're moving on. I'm not going to go into full promo mode. All right. Here we go. Look at that. This man's licking his fingers, his little rock fingers. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's get to the next bit here. Vanessa Kirby.
just pause on that for 30
we all
seconds.
Let's soak it in. Soak it in.
We all. I don't think we talk about Vanessa Kirby enough. Everybody.
Can I say though, to turn this into constructive trailer analysis? I
thought Jamie and I were very constructive there. Okay?
Absolutely, and I'm there with you. I'm just trying to keep us on track because we have a lot to talk about. I love having Sue be kind of the heart of this trailer and like a lot of the driving force. Like as much as it's like Reed and everybody else is still heavily featured, like I feel like Sue is the emotional core for so many of the scenes that we're seeing, and I really like having that. It feels like in the previous movies, Sue was just the token female. She was just the afterthought, when in the reality in the comics, like she is the glue that's kind of holding the team together. So I'm glad that is the focus here.
I'm a Sue Storm main in Marvel Rivals. That power set is slept on. We got to find a picture of Pedro just from this comment from the UK from Layla. Pedro Pascal. Thank you, Layla. Can we get Pedro on? There you go. Just for you. Just for you. 750 people watching live. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, everybody. Please subscribe to the channel. Share our show with your friends. Play it for your dad. Play it for your cat. All right, we got more of the family dynamic. The family dynamic seems to be the theme of this whole trailer. Oh, there they are. They're going to space. This, to me, I think there will be some flashbacks scattered throughout, maybe in the form of broadcast, like when this interview that they're doing gets reported on. I think that we're gonna see, obviously, when the movie starts, they are the Fantastic Four as we know them, but this will have already happened, because there's also a line in the trailer where they say, before you were invisible and stuff like that. I think we're going to see sort of the moments, but as flashbacks, or maybe it's just going to be all that first scene, like a lot of Marvel movies used to do, like inciting incident scenes. But what do we think? Do you think this is going to be like a flashback thing, or is the movie going to be all chronological?
I think we'll get flashbacks.
I think so.
I think that, and this is like a stab in the dark, if you were very sensitive to like a spoiler, possibly, if I get this right, because I've been
You're the prophet.
Yeah, close your ears. But
oh boy,
as a framing device, having the journalists interview them and having the video in this aspect ratio, like A Hard Day's Night with the Beatles, makes sense for the flashbacks throughout the thing to tell their story, and then having him put the story at the end would make a lot of sense. But I don't know. Aspect ratio stuff is interesting to me too, because all of it's not shot in this little Super 8 looking filter they got going on over it.
That's what I thought of immediately, because Matt Shackman, that's what he does. Let's not forget when he did that in WandaVision. Oh, Malkovich. What a treat Malkovich is going to be.
I want to cut to Malkovich because I think he looks like Ivan Kragoff, the Red Ghost, and that goes to what Aaron just said. The reason I cut ahead here is because so the Red Ghost is, like, he's called that because he's theorized as is this communist villain in the comics in issue 13, and his origin story is trying to emulate the origin story of the Fantastic Four. So in that book, he builds a ship that is like transparent for the sake of cosmic rays to come and enter his body, and he makes the ship out of like a material that in the sense of those cosmic rays is more like they can travel through it, and he gets hit with them more, and he brings these super apes with him. Like, he has these 3 trained monkeys, just powerful beings already, and he takes them with him to make his own sort of Fantastic Four of his own, because he wants to defeat the Fantastic Four and rule the world. And I think that we're going to see the Fantastic Four origin story play out in parallel, in tandem with this villain who's trying to emulate them. So we'll see, because they launch at the same time. It's not the first flight for the Fantastic Four in the comic issue, but it does seem like obviously they're taking off again. And this guy, if he is Ivan, would be interesting to see that if they use those parallels to then sprinkle in the flashbacks, so we get the origin story through the lens of the villain who's trying to recreate it. That'd be cool.
Good job on the comic explanation, by the way. Like, that was a pretty succinct explanation of his history. I just want to see the super monkeys. If this is Red Ghost, it's also he's also called Red Ghost because he can kind of turn intangible. Like, he does gain powers from his space flight, and then can use those powers, and like keeps going back into space and keeps fighting the Fantastic Four to get even stronger powers. I should also mention, like, in that first issue, that's also the first appearance of the Watcher, and he basically shows up and is like, "Let me help intervene because your 2 groups are beefing, and I really need you guys to stop because it's going to really be bad." And so they kind of team up with the Watcher to help stop Red Ghost.
Yeah, like they fight him on the moon.
Yeah,
they do, and it's going to be interesting if he turns out to be that character. I see a comment here. Eric says, "I think that's Reed's father." That would be interesting. I really hope they use Red Ghost to bring Kenneth Hale into the MCU. All right, what else we got? More of the group in this sort of flat.
Go back to when, like, the shot right before this, when he's standing on the street, because the trench coat and the hat is a huge part of like things aesthetic in the comics. Like, that is a huge thing. I like, we've gotten it before in animation and in live action, but I love that we got it here like as seamlessly as we did.
Blue Stampede, do you think we'll get any references to Nathaniel Richards? I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Kang talk in this movie at all. I think this is the Doctor Doom pivot, so I don't think so. What else we got? Okay, let's keep it moving. Every time you see them in these flashbacks, though, it's either on a TV screen or in that aspect ratio. So
Which is good, because how many times have we seen the Fantastic Four go get their powers? So many times. Let's not forget, even Roger Corman showed us how they got their powers in the 90s. Like, we're good. We're good. It's like one of the best things about, I think, the MCU Incredible Hulk is that they were like, let's just jump ahead. We've done this before, and I really appreciate that.
I think Johnny Storm's powers look awesome. I think we'll have to wait till the movie to hear Flame On, probably.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Save it. But I think just the way they've done these powers, I mean, even Sue, I'm going to try to find it. The Sue, when she's disappearing in the shuttle, just like, oh, come on, look at that, dude. That's a man on fire. Joseph Quinn, when he said, I just started lighting myself on fire, he was, do not do that, by the way. If you're a kid, that is a joke. It is, he didn't really do that. That is, don't do that. This seems like a first flight type of flashback here. He's going to fly up to the sky, sort of Iron Man style, and fall out, maybe. Is he going to fix the de-icing problem? Yeah, what a gorgeous shot. Imagine being Joseph Quinn like that. You see yourself in that shot. That is so damn cool. Wow. Oh, we love them. We love them.
Jeez. I'm an equal opportunity thirster, and I'm just like, I can't with these two. Oh my god!
What a time to be alive.
For everybody listening in audio form, this is a freeze frame of Reed and Sue kissing each other, as you probably could gather. That's a wallpaper. What do we think is this? Is this Galactus arriving? Is this the Red Ghost coming back and launching an attack on New York City? The skyline is in peril with an explosion out of the clouds. What could this be? What do we think? Anything?
I don't know if it's Galactus. I do think, it's either Red Ghost or some sort of just like ancillary villain. Like I've already seen people joke of just most MCU villains are just an average Tuesday for the Fantastic Four. Like they are dealing with a lot very frequently. So it could be a number of things.
I like this. Oh, wait. No. The comments are coming so quickly. I'm clicking the wrong one. I love you guys. It's an incursion. Make it an incursion. That would be interesting if this is just like the credit scene already. Like it seems a little too small scale to be an incursion, but that'd be interesting. All right, what else we got? Thing running through the street. I mean, he looks great. And then Galactus arrives. We got Galactus's shadow over New York City.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't notice that the first time.
And also,
that's
this
really sick.
Yeah, this skyline has... Jenna, by the way, did your package arrive yet?
It did, yeah.
Yes, okay, so you have the New York City map that was on the Fantastic Four fan. Yeah, you could, if you look closely at the bottom of this, you can see that's where the different fantasy structures are that are part of the universe and not part of our world. I don't know what these buildings are. I assume one of them is the Baxter Building. I can't tell which is which. Spending my morning at work with y'all, and I am stoked for this movie. Super glad we didn't see the Silver Surfer yet either. Galactus, though, says Captain Ginger 6661, the dude with the cool chain who ordered our hoodie. Thank you for that. I think his name's Aaron, right? Yeah. All right. Anything we want to take away from this this shot of the skyline before we move on?
Just Galactus's presence is wild to see after the fart cloud days. Just to get to this point is just unbelievable.
I thought Galactus would be bigger than this shot here next to the Statue of Liberty implies, but I guess actually it's probably hard to tell just how big Galactus is by this shot.
Yeah.
You know, the Statue of Liberty is pretty big.
Yeah, that's why as I said it, I was like, the Statue of Liberty actually is pretty. Like in this shot, it looks like a gift shop Statue of Liberty, which could actually put in perspective how big Galactus is. That's pretty crazy. Mel NYC Reviews, thank you for the $9.99 comment. Thank you to this panel for making my morning train ride the best one I've had so far this crazy year. Happy February. This trailer makes me believe the film's writers made some smart choices. All the best. All the best to you, Mel NYC. Have a good train ride out there in New York City. Probably looks a little different from the New York City we're looking at right now. Over 800 people watching live. Thank you so much. And everybody listening in podcast form. If you couldn't make it or you slept in, we love you too. All right. We're going to wrap this up here on the, let's see, Vanessa Kirby again. There they are. There they are. All four of them.
That looks a lot like a quantum tunnel, but it's not. But the set design is there to echo it, which is very funny to me. I was like, this ain't what it is, but it sure does look familiar if you've been following MCU.
This is a TV set.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, like but it's like there to like echo like that, I think, in the production design.
Yeah. From you talking about the one at the Avengers HQ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Now that you say that, I didn't even think about it, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is clear. Like as you could see on the posters, I'll pull up the posters in a second. The Fantastic Four are famous and they're beloved. Like people love the Fantastic Four in this world, which of course, as we just discussed on last week's episode, which got pretty passionate and fired up. A lot of like when something's loved, there's a camp of people who are going to hate it. And that's, I think, the case with all things. I mean, I'm sure by now we've been inundated in our 27 minutes of being live. There's somebody on Twitter talking about something about this trailer they didn't like. You know what I mean? And that's fair, but there's probably just people being just unnecessarily negative in some regard. So I think that we'll see some villains pop up for them in that because of how loved they are alone. Might just be exactly why Ivan Kragoff is popping up because he wants to be them. We got another comment here. Fear and Beer Halloween Nights podcast sent a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you. And we had another one. Figures that the 4th live action attempt is best. Look at that.
God, it better be. Jeez.
Yeah. If it's not, it's not a high bar.
Yeah.
But we got some posters as well. Let's see what we got here. Kids being joyful.
Oh, that's really cute.
In
That's
box.
giving like Cap First Avengers vibes. Like
this one. All the throwback shots to pre accident, incident, whatever you want to call it, that made them so fantastic. More posters. I mean, this is like I don't want to do Superman comparisons, but this is like the opposite of some of the things people complained about in like Man of Steel and stuff like that. It's the opposite of The Boys. The heroes are famous and beloved instead of just being hounded by the media. And I find that to be fun and interesting.
So for these photos, I was wondering if this artist was going to get, oh, look at it. I bet you they're going to sell the thing. But I was wondering if they were going to echo like Gordon Parks's photography. A lot of this feels a lot like that sort of like classic, atomic era photography of that era of American life. And even the filters on it, when you see all the images colorized, they look so much like the kind of like sepia fun tone that we have for all of this stuff. So it's just nice to see.
They went big on this trailer launch. I gotta say, I think it's cool they did this set down there in Alabama. I would have absolutely been on my way if I knew. I mean, I'm not that far. I would have been there, I'll tell you. We got another super chat here from GeekFi. Will Doom be in this at all? Maybe the credit scene. I asked Matt Shackman that very question at San Diego Comic-Con. He wouldn't say anything. I also asked Michael Giacchino if he is doing a Doom score because he's scoring this movie. But he just said that's going to be Danny Elfman, right? Or is it Danny Elfman or Alan Silvestri?
Alan Silvestri.
That's what he said, Alan Silvestri, who's doing the Doomsday theme. But I still think Doom shows up in this movie.
I hope not. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, but I really want this movie to kind of stand on its own. If anything, just show Doom and don't necessarily show Downey, because I think that there's still a way to tease the group's relationship with Doom in a post-credit scene or in whatever else, and then get to what we're going to get to in Doomsday.
I feel like it's going to be like that Thanos post-credit scene, like, I'll do it myself, like a really quick post-credit scene. I agree. Don't show Downey, show the mask. I do think we're going to see him for like just like that same Thanos level original post-credit scene. Super quick. Give us the tease. We like great. Like we deserve a post-credit teaser that we know is going to lead somewhere. We deserve that as a community.
That is true. It is also like people are forgetting this is the last movie at this point until Doomsday. So like there's going to be something that they're probably going to have to set up. I don't want Downey to become the only bit of conversation once people get out of this movie. I want people to be able to talk about the movie itself. So I'm sure there's a way to kind of strike the balance between the two.
What if Galactus devours the planet essentially, and then we see a credit scene where like there's some survivor whose face is all messed up?
Oh.
I don't know, just something to think about. We got Langley M. Neely, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for this. I'm in the hospital with flu and COVID. Teaser is just what I needed this morning. Sorry to hear that, Langley. I hope this is a bright spot in a dark day over there. I hope you feel better, my friend. You're one of the very active people in our comment section. We appreciate you all the time, especially today. I hope you feel better. Wow, that's a bummer. But I'm glad we were able to be a fun part of your day for you. Yeah, I do think we'll get a Doom reference and probably some sort of appearance because, like you said, this is the last MCU movie before Doomsday, right? There's no early 2026 movie.
At the moment, no.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. Blade was supposed to be in there between them, but no, that's not happening. Aaron, Prophet.
I mean, that doesn't seem right. The only thing that could slot in there would be Spider-Man, right? And that's
No. I mean, do you think we'll see Doom?
Oh, if you have a chance to put Robert Downey Jr. in a fancy old-timey suit and have him talk to Pedro Pascal menacingly, why don't you just do it? I don't know. Like, he also acted like you tried to shove an ant farm down his pants when you asked him the question, so I feel like he's in the movie.
Yeah, Shackman dodged that thing.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know, I'm not interested.
The franchise, thank you for the super chat. Ben, pre-transformation is taller than the rest, but Thing looks shorter. Is there a comic reference for that?
I mean, he's just, it's the very way that Jack Kirby drew him in the comics, of that very sort of squatty specific physique. Like they're really rendering that and not so much the way that we've seen Thing in the previous movies of him being so much taller than everybody else.
RJ, none of us forgot Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts comes out before this. I know Fantastic Four feels like it would be the May movie. It is the July movie. Thunderbolts is the May movie. So no, we didn't forget Thunderbolts. It's just not happening between Fantastic Four and Doomsday.
Do we think that Thunderbolts is going to have any post-credit scene teasing Fantastic Four? Because that kind of used to be the thing. Like when Captain Marvel came out right before Endgame, you know, they're like when they had these close releases, they did used to connect them. But like, how would they? Like, what would Thunderbolts could possibly be at the end that would be like, don't forget Fantastic Four, 2 months away?
I feel like if anything, it would just tease Doomsday. It would be like, here's Yelena or another character in Thunderbolts, like leading into what we will see in the Avengers movies. I feel like we're past the point of having lateral post-credit scenes of like what the immediate next thing is, and I feel like it'll just be character specific.
I would love it if Cap 4 ended a credit scene with the Fantastic Four arriving on our Earth, on our sacred timeline Earth, and then we got to see how they got there in Fantastic Four. I think that'd be really cool. Whether it's Fantastic Four or Thunderbolts. But, I mean, Captain America or Thunderbolts, I think that'd be a really cool credit scene. And it maybe all four of them, maybe just one of them showing up looking beaten and like they just survived an incursion or a universe getting devoured. That'd be sweet. Brad, thank you for the super chat. Doom in post-credits saying they'll know who I am.
Can you go back to the chalkboard scene? Because Aaron dropped something that is interesting from that.
About when is the chalkboard scene?
I think around there, probably.
Oh, sorry.
Everything has to be leading Doomsday. So, and it does look sick.
We didn't even talk about the Fantastic Car. Look at that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. I don't know where the chalkboard scene is. I'll look for it if you want to.
Okay. Like, so we're talking about how they're going to get there. I think that like something on the chalkboard seems like it's a pretty big hint. Yeah, ooh, there it was. Yeah, if you zoom in on that, I don't think you can right now.
But like over his back, like over his shoulder.
Over his back in the, like, slightly out of the light here, this is a tunnel, and it says, like, multiverse bridge.
What?
Or something like that, or like some sort of energy, and then there's enter and exit, and it has the same sort of like structure that the little bridge thing like Construct had in Endgame, where they jump in and it's a big funnel and it shoots you out somewhere else. So he's obviously working on something to take them from where they are to somewhere else. I don't know what for, but
that's interesting. That's a great catch. Wow. What a nice little nugget to end the show there.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Wow, I didn't even see that. But yeah, it does say enter, exit. It looks like a tunnel. And I don't think it's Mole Man. Wow. Real quick, I just want to shout out our new merch. Thank you so much to everybody who ordered merch. Yeah. I mean, flying off the shelves. It's unbelievable seeing the merch sales come through. We literally just made one right here. My phone lit up. Paul W placed an order. Paul Walter Hauser, thanks, buddy. like thank you everybody who's placing these orders. I'm sending thank you videos to as many people as I can. But our merch is available. This is clearly inspired by something recently. A little, we got some new t-shirts. And then we also have these were Jenna's idea. This is the new wave of merch, the day one stuff. Sold out, it's gone. But yeah, so this is all phasehero.com. The merch is it's so it's bizarre. I've never experienced anything like this. So I'm never gonna stop. I got a terrible comparison. Not a fan of this guy, but I'm gonna be like Logan Paul with the Prime bottle. You're gonna see me with Phase Hero merch everywhere I go. just because it's insane. But everybody's supporting it, and they're getting their stuff in the mail and sharing it with us is really, really cool to see.
I have not taken this hoodie off. It is so comfortable. Like I live in this hoodie now. It's amazing. And I just wanted to say that everyone who tags us in your little photos or your merch, it makes me, it's just like a real nice boost. It's so cool to see. And when I start seeing you guys in the shirts with our names on it, that's going to be a new level of crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. Our names on shirt. Wow. What a time. Phase Hero to the moon, baby. Fantastic rocket ship just like them. We're all going to come back with powers. Who knows? And our power is talking about Marvel movies and DC movies and everything else we do here on Phase Hero. All right. That is our Fantastic Four immediate reaction. We all seemingly really loved that trailer. Thought it was really cool. And there's quite a bit of story in it. For a teaser, we were able to surmise quite a bit. If you have any questions real quick, drop them in the comment section. Otherwise, we're going to start saying our goodbyes. Jamie, any last words for today's episode?
Yeah, if the folks at Marvel are listening, I just want you all to know that I traveled all day yesterday. I slept 3 hours on an air mattress. I have to go to a funeral today. Somebody literally died, but that's not stopping me from talking about the Fantastic Four trailer. That's how exciting this is. Like, this just feels like such an event, and it's just so excited to get on here and talk to you guys about it. I'm not going to be at the show tomorrow, and I can't believe I have to miss 2 weeks in a row of talking about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but I am so hyped to eventually talk about that with you guys. I love you guys.
I want to shout out Nerdy Seb for the super chat. Sorry, I did get caught up in talking about our merch. Maybe they use the negative zone to travel to 616. I mean, that would be interesting. I think that could be a new, multiverse portal type thing that they start using for MCU lore. Jenna seems to agree as well.
Yeah.
And we got J2K Productions as well. Thank you for the sticker.
Alex in the chat is asking for comic recommendations. Jonathan Hickman's run, definitely. But I would honestly say start with volume 1. Start with the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby stuff, because that is so in the DNA of this movie. Like what Beatty and I were talking about with Red Ghost is literally issue 13 of their entire first comic run. So go back, start from the beginning, and it will help you have like a really, really strong appreciation for the tone and the energy of what they're doing in this movie.
And Jenna, any last words for today's episode?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics, go read Fantastic Four comics, and go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics. I will have my own video breaking down the trailer later today, so stay tuned for that.
Closing in on 5,000 subscribers over there. We'd love to see it. Aaron, any last words for today's episode?
Man, thank you guys for waking up. I know it was a little bit of a weird morning, but it was worth it. We finally made it. If you've been a long-time listener, the Fantastic Forecasting is one of the longest-running bits on the show. We have a cast. We have a trailer. All of our lives are different, so thank you. Also, I don't know if Brandon's going to let us have Phase Hero capes, but I will let you know.
Yeah, the chat is asking.
I think we got to... I have been pushing this damn merch like crazy, and we've launched like 8 new things in the past 2 days. So we got to let a few, like, I don't want to just listen. I know I'm going to promote the merch because it is, when you guys buy something, it is directly an opportunity to support our show and represent it. Obviously, somebody might see your hoodie and say, "What's Phase Hero?" And you start a conversation, and maybe we get a new listener. But also, obviously, there's a few dollars that go directly to us. After Fourth Wall takes their cut, which is a very fair. I had I really enjoy working with Fourth Wall. I actually talked, one of the Fourth Wall staff reached out to me directly on social media and asked to help us. But it helps us do this because we're all trying to keep this going and obviously make some money doing this show because we want to make it as big as possible and put more time into it and everything. And I've resisted taking a full-time job as long as I possibly can here. And I'm still doing my best to keep that true. And the fact that you guys are supporting this endeavor helps keep that dream alive and hopefully get Face Hero to the dang moon. And if you want capes, we'll get you capes at some point. I don't think Fourth Wall has a native cape builder option. So we'll have to figure that out.
Do they have blankets?
I was going to say,
all
we just
all
do
you
blankets.
need.
Yeah.
And we'll call it a cape.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We will definitely figure it out. I want some Face Hero underwear, Chris Chipperson. Yeah. Christopher, you're saying 5'7" skinny guy. What's the? I don't know. I've never been a 5. Well, I was a 5'7" skinny guy at one point. I used to be a 6'3" skinny guy. So somewhere along the way, I was that. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever size you usually are, I guess. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us with this Fantastic Four immediate reaction episode. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk about what Chris Evans said. We're going to talk about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We're going to talk about Jurassic World, all kinds of stuff on the regularly scheduled Wednesday show that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern time right here on the channel. Thank you for subscribing and watching. It'll be available on all major podcast platforms as well. I should have done a calculator for how many days till Fantastic Four, because I don't know off the top of my head. Too many days, but it's closer than ever. The trailer's here, and we're in our Fantastic Four era now. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Play our show for your dad, play it for your cat, and we will see you tomorrow for our live show. Bye, everyone.
You